All right, breaking news that's coming in. We have the first visuals of the attacker in the Ganderbal attack. This is the first visuals when terrorists had attacked and killed Hindus in Jammu and Kashmir. Ganderbal, the terrorists involved in the recent attack on laborers located in the Sonamarg area of central Kashmir, Ganderbal district, have emerged. The attack also resulted in the death of 7 individuals. The pictures of the terrorists involved in the Ganderbal terror attack have now surfaced. We can see those pictures on our screen. And viewers, we remember the heartbreaking tragedy and the loss of lives due to terror attack in Ganderbal. Let me go across to Gursimran. Gursimran, we have the first terrorist visual attack. We have the first visuals of the terrorist, a part of the Ganderbal attackers, when this terrorist attacked and killed many in Jammu and Kashmir. Gursimran, give us more details.
So what we are picking up from our sources that these are the first photographs that we have accessed. These are of the terrorists that were behind this deadly attack that has taken place. We are told by the sources within the Indian Army that by the tactical movement of this terrorist, it seems that he's a foreign terrorist. He's a Pakistani well-trained terrorist. While he was entering one of the premises, this video has been captured. Though we managed to get the screen grabs of this very video, this is a CCTV footage screen grabs that we have managed to access regarding the Ganderbal attack. What earlier we have picked up so far that the infiltration has taken place from the North Kashmir, Bandipora, and then the terrorists were taking the route of from Bandipora to Gund, possibly towards the Tulel side, and then following road towards the South Kashmir. When on way they have carried out this terror attack. It was roughly similar this time only, 7:05 to 7:10, when the terrorists barged into the camp of APCO Infrastructure Company that was behind this construction that is taking place at the Z-Mode tunnel. And soon after getting this details about the attack, the forces were rushed to the spot, but taking the advantage of the dense foliage in the nearby areas, the terrorists managed to escape. Now the manhunt has been launched, and based on the investigation that has been carried out by the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the Indian Army, along with the state investigation agency, which is the Jammu and Kashmir's investigation agency, and also National Investigation Agency, that has already deputed a team led by an IPS officer of SSP rank in the Kashmir Valley. They have carried out multiple checks of the CCTVs, and among those CCTVs that have been scanned by the agencies, we have got access to one of the screen grabs of this entire sequence. And now this terrorist is the one, what we are picking up from our sources, who was behind the attack. Now the sources are telling us that the way this terrorist has entered the premises of which these photographs are, the tactical movement shows that he was well trained, because the forces that have been following a pattern of the Pakistani terrorists that have come down to Jammu and Kashmir, that have been operating in the hilly areas, in the jungle warfare, that are trained for the jungle warfare, he has a similar look-alike tactics like that person, and that is why we are getting to know that these terrorists was moving in such a tactical manner that he has been trained in that manner. Apart from that, it is believed that it is Lashkar-e-Toiba, though they have tried to give it a different color of an offshoot or a localized color, but it is a Lashkar terrorist that were behind this attack, because earlier what the eyewitnesses said that they have seen 2 terrorists. So this is one of the photographs. So it is highly possible that the other one is probably taking a shelter somewhere or is moving behind this so as to give a cover. But these photos that has been accessed by Republic Media Network shows the terrorist entering one of the premises.
In fact, Gursimran, that's a fantastic reaction, the details and the live that you're giving us. I also want to tell our viewers, and I want to come back to you, why is this so important? Because what was attacked was the Srinagar-Leh highway that remains a critical infrastructural project designed to provide all-weather connectivity between Kashmir and Ladakh. Like you said, the Lashkar is also behind it, and they've tried to give this a regional color. But what are you picking up on the other people and the kind of sourcing they got? And also, aren't things already spiraling out of control for Umar Abdullah?
See, when it comes to the situation, the incident that has taken place, clearly it was a hit at the infrastructure, because this is going to provide a key edge to the movement of the forces towards the line of actual control. So that is also being considered, because see what has happened in 2021 when attacks started in the Jammu region. It was in the Pir Panjal where the attacks first happened, and then after the analyzing of the situation, the forces got to know that during the Indochina LAC situation, when one of the key forces, the uniform force that was deputed here, it was moved to the Ladakh side, and then the terrorists tried to hit this place because they wanted to engage India on the two fronts, that is so that India do not get a time to look into any other side. So this could possibly be that plot, but for now we are not picking this up, at least from our sources within the Jammu and Kashmir police or the Indian army. Second thing that you have mentioned, that the investigation or the local hand, more than 43 persons, 43 is the number that we can confirm from our sources, that they have been detained for the questioning, and they are being questioned thoroughly round the clock by the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the SIA and the National Investigation Agency. Indian army is also part of the investigation that is taking place. Second thing that is coming up out of this is that there is a possibility of the local hand, but till date the local hand who was involved is yet to be ascertained. It's been a couple of days of the investigation. Some of the dump call data are being assigned, are being analyzed. These dump call data are the mobile tower data of the nearby area that are also being analyzed by the Jammu and Kashmir police, so that they can get some of the breakthroughs. This is what I am being told by the officials, that this is a big campus and the terrorists barged into it, carried out brutal massacre of the civilians that were working here. This shows that they were well aware of this area's demography and also the exit routes, because one side, as my colleague Rawat was earlier mentioning when he was at the ground, that one side is totally covered with the fence. That means the terrorists knew that where to exit from. So this deep-rooted conspiracy is also being worked upon. Yes, this is a challenging time for the government, not only from the Jammu and Kashmir police, but also for the other security forces that are working here in Jammu and Kashmir. So is a challenging time for the LG administration and Umar Abdullah government, a newly sworn in government, that how they will tackle this situation, because Jammu and Kashmir has moved far from these attacks, these things. This has been a peaceful election that we have witnessed in Jammu and Kashmir, but once again the terrorists have tried to do what they are known for. So how the Jammu and Kashmir will fight with the rogue nation Pakistan that is trying to foment trouble, that is trying to give India 1,000 cuts. That is the strategy being worked upon. But one thing that has come forth after this attack, that there was no single party that has said that we need to talk with the Pakistan. Everyone in a single voice has condemned this attack, and that is what is needed at the time when the civilians are getting killed. Yes.
In fact, I also want to critically see if Mehbooba Mufti has said anything, but I also want to, Gursimran, ask you, like we said, this tunnel is a vital project to ensure year-round connectivity between Kashmir and Ladakh. Senior officials have met the LG, the civil administration, the police administration has all met with the LG, but the NIA that has also launched an investigation in the attack, it's also requested, the MHA has requested a detailed report from the Jammu and Kashmir administration also.
See, one thing is very clear, MHA is very particular about what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Tomorrow morning there is a unified command meeting. That means the highest level of the security grade review meeting that can take place in Jammu and Kashmir for any contingency situation, that is going to take place tomorrow morning at 11 AM at Raj Bhavan in Jammu and Kashmir. That is what we are getting to know. In this meeting, not only the Jammu and Kashmir Police DGP, but also the Northern Army Commander, who is responsible for the hinterland security as well as the border security from Jammu, Kashmir to Ladakh, and also the BSF top brass will remain present along with the CRPF top brass and the intelligence officers, be it from the central intelligence agencies or from the state intelligence agencies. They all will remain present in this, and what they will do is that they will give a detailed action taken report, and also what will be their action plan in days to come, because the situation is challenging. These two are not the terrorists that are active in Jammu and Kashmir. The number of the active terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir is touching 100, and majority of them mostly 60 to 70 are the Pakistani terrorists. These are not the data that I'm quoting from any of the intelligence agency, but from the official Jammu and Kashmir DGP R.R. Swine, who was there a couple of days back. Now he has been replaced by Nalin Prabhat. He has given this data. So that means the situation is concerning, and that's why a new strategy is being devised by the Jammu and Kashmir police, that how to tackle these terrorists, how to neutralize these terrorists with the help of the sister intelligence agencies.
In fact, I also believe it's possible that in the evening today, Gursimran, Mehbooba Mufti has once again spoken up, and it's possible that she's advocating India-Pakistan talks shockingly after this terror attack. I think it's yet another politicization that should completely stop.
See, when it comes to the statement that comes from Mehbooba Mufti, she is a leader of the party that has won 3 seats. Though she has a number of voters on the ground, but at least at this time she should have avoided this. But see, since NC is in the power, the PDP is in opposition. PDP will try to do anything possible so that they can do to garner their votes. So that statement is purely to garner the votes, because we have also seen that some of the political parties in Jammu and Kashmir, they totally rely on the talks with the Pakistan, the restoration of the trade with the Pakistan as one of their key agendas to go into the elections. So the Mehbooba Mufti stating that probably is one of their manifestos point that she is once again putting up. But if you see this time, this is probably for the first time that a terror attack has happened, and no major political party, no major player, since at this given time it is the Congress party and National Conference or the BJP, none of them, BJP never speaks of the talks with the Pakistan, so does the Congress under the pressure. But it is the NC also, they have said that Farooq Abdullah, who came open and said that we won't let Kashmir to become Pakistan. So this is very clear that the majority of the people have voted for those parties who don't want talks with the Pakistan till the time that Pakistan is sponsoring terrorism into Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, and I also believe that I want to get more details on how the security has been tightened at the key infrastructural projects in Jammu and Kashmir after this attack, Gursimran.
Since morning we have been traveling in the outskirts of the Jammu region, because the majority of the highway developmental projects, they are in the outskirts. We have been to the Khadi area, we have been through Kandi also, where the developmental projects are underway, especially the tunnel projects that will cut short the time of travel for the locals as well as the security forces. When it comes to driving to the line of control, within it cuts short the distance travel by 1.5 hour, which is very important in the situation when it is neck-to-neck situation and you have to reach the LOC at an earliest. So there we have seen not only Jammu and Kashmir police, but also the village defense guards have been deployed, and also the private security. See, it is not possible to deploy Jammu and Kashmir police at every place with a handsome amount of troops on ground. So that is why what they have done, a couple of Jammu and Kashmir police jawans along with the village defense group, those are locals, those who are well aware that how to tackle any situation, and then the local security of the company that is carrying out the projects. Also, there are some locals, sorry to mention, that CCTV cameras that are being installed. Somewhere it has been installed. The police has given the directions to the companies to install the CCTVs at their infrastructure projects, and then apart from this, what they have done, that it will be a live link that they will be provided to the nearby police station, so that the police can also have access to what is happening there. So these are the measures that have been taken till date, but tomorrow it is going to be very important meeting of the Unified Command, the highest level of security grade review meeting, and then the decisions will be taken that what will happen.
Okay, we have retired Colonel Shailendra Singh on the phone line. This is clearly an attack on our infrastructural projects. Retired Colonel Shailendra Singh, it's very clear that what they're trying to attack is the connectivity between Ladakh, between Kashmir, and this is clearly going to be seen as another attempt by the Lashkar to try and interfere, meddle, and cause terrorism in India.
Jai Hind, I can only tell you one thing. This is not an attack only on infrastructure. Such attacks are based on that where do they find, that kind of workers who are not armed, those kind of people who cannot even protest, those kind of people who cannot even protect themselves. Now that is where they would have done a recce also. They would have seen that yes, these are the helpless laborers who are there. Infrastructure is obviously one of the targets, but that is at a bigger level. At a smaller level, the terrorist is looking for where he can fire, he can kill, but he can get away, because that is what is his first aim, that he should be able to get away. So I feel that from each of such incidences, we should come out with better lessons learned and implement with immediate effect. Something like we can have all such projects which are strategic also, not only CCTV surveillance, but even a post of army, police or whosoever should be there nearby. The labor camp should be protected to some extent, give them that protection which is required. And on top of it, the intelligence network has to be activated, because I'm not worried about this one boy who has come and started firing. I'm much more worried that mastermind who's sitting in POK, why should he not be eliminated? Because he will do it again. He has got nothing at stake. Sitting there in POK under the protection of Pakistan Army, what can we do to him? I feel we should start doing to that. Those are the roots. Those are the mastermind. I'm very sure we have the wherewithal. If we can have his photo, we know that he is involved. He ought to be eliminated, not from my point of view, from the Pakistan point of view also, from the humanity point of view also. Pakistan has been claiming that, yes, they are also suffering from terrorism. So why are they harboring? Just because they are harboring, because it's related to India. So we have a right everywhere. Anybody and everybody is doing it. Why can't we do it? I'm very sure that such kind of incidences will come down if the deterrence effect is draconic. You have to have such system installed, such reaction teams installed, that even if you do it, your shelf life should not be more than 24 hours. That is the lesson. That is, in fact, the public also ought to, cooperate and be anti-terrorist, that enough is enough. You will be losing your own people. You will be losing your own infrastructure. You will be losing your own connectivity, because all are for the benefit of locals. So I think locals also have a very major role to play against the terrorism, for, reporting it, for, fighting against it, for escaping from it and protecting themselves from it. The village teams needs to be created. That's it.
Yes, and as I want you to stay with us, I also want to ask Gursimran. Colonel Shailendra Singh critically points out the way forward here, Gursimran. We were speaking about the importance of the 6.5-kilometer long tunnel on the Srinagar-Leh highway that remains a very critical infrastructural project. It was designed to provide all-weather connectivity between Kashmir and Ladakh. Gursimran, I'm also seeing a lot of political parties trying to politicize this issue at a time when I could say this is possibly the deadliest attack in 2024 that has been witnessed. There are 7 people who've been killed. Security needs to be beefed up. But as the NI continues the investigation in sensitive regions such as this, how is it that the Lashkar-e-Toiba and these people who infiltrated into India can be monitored and be brought to book?
See, this is really very challenging, because there has been an infiltration. Jammu and Kashmir LG Manoj Sinha has himself accepted that there has been an infiltration that has taken place from the North Kashmir, and we are looking into it. There have been several encounters that have taken place, though this group is said to be a new group that has infiltrated into the Indian territory. That is what we are getting to know from the sources within the Indian Army. But yes, as you mentioned, that some of the political parties are doing so, but the people of Jammu and Kashmir have made it amply clear. See, those political parties who have been big in the number, be it the BJP National Conference or the Congress, they have never spoken about this, and that is what we are getting to know.
I also want to ask you, Gursimran, it says that this attack was, like you said, carried out under the orders of a TRF chief, Sheikh Gul. There's a 10 lakh bounty announced by the NI in 2022. These are certain intelligence officials saying this. But also give us the details of what happened. 8:15 p.m., 2 to 3 Pakistani terrorists armed with weapons stormed into the campsite, targeting the workers who'd gathered for dinner in the mess area.
Yes, it was similarly this time. It's 7:18 now. It was similarly this time 7:10. What we are getting to know that when these terrorists barged into inside this camp and then they attacked these. How many of the terrorists they were in the numbers of 2 as per the eyewitnesses they are saying. But for now, what the screen grab that we managed to get is of 1 only, and this is what the agencies are now looking into seriously. We'll be continuing with the scrolling coverage right after this short break on Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
See the power of God. Touch. Say thank you, Jesus. Say thank you, Jesus. Say thank you, Jesus.
One more thing that membership to Jemimah was given on honorary basis because she is an international player, plays for India.
Yes. So as far as her membership is concerned, absolutely, she is the pride of the country. We wish her well. We wish she brings more accolades to the country. There is no issue about that. The membership was given to her, being a Bandra girl, to come and use the facilities, hone her skills and do better for the country. तो वो privilege misuse जो उनके father ने किया, using her membership to book the presidential hall, and the booking was 1.5 साल की booking थी. हमारे members को जगह नहीं मिल रही थी. If I wanted to do a function or any member, the hall was perpetually booked. So to misuse that privilege is the issue. She should have come, played. We have highest regard for her. There are no two ways about it. It's just the misuse of her membership.
Happened in the AGM about Jemimah Rodrigues' honorary membership, which was given to her due to her international player status.
Yeah, so when the motion came up for hearing and the things were explained to the members that this is what has happened, our president was chairing the meeting, and when everything was put up, the house was really very upset to hear all this, and they were very, very spontaneously. It just happened. Okay, please cancel our membership. We don't want such things happening in our Gymkhana, and we have to maintain the rules and the dignity of the Gymkhana, and we don't want. So there was no proposal for her removal or something like that by anybody. It just spontaneously happened with the members that we don't want such activities. Yes, we all promote sports. We are all for the sports. Gymkhana is meant for sporting activities mainly. These are just additional facilities that we give our members to use for their family functions or things like that. But it can't be used like this, is what all the members felt, and it was spontaneously decided by the members that cancel the membership.
In the second match simulation, I scored 25 runs of 37 balls.
तो
Not out.
मैच में नॉट आउट रही, मैं 25 रन बनाए, बॉलों में
So I just want to thank and glorify God.
मैं परमेश्वर को धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ.
See the power of God. Touch. Say thank you, Jesus. Say thank you, Jesus. Say thank you, Jesus.
Congress raises questions on India-China deal. Congress doubts India-China patrol agreement. Why is Congress nervous about India-China pact? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Director, the taste of success.
India-China deal. Congress doubts India-China patrol agreement. Why is Congress nervous about India-China pact? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
All right, we are getting pictures from Kazan, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after a successful completion of the Brics Summit, is leaving, emplaning back for New Delhi and India. Prime Minister would be traveling overnight, takes about 6 hours, so well past midnight he would be landing back home. And Karan Verma continues to be with us in the studios. Karan, how would you see this Prime Minister's diplomatic assignment, participation in the Brics Summit, and of course that big bilateral with Xi Jinping?
Abhishek, I think this is India's moment in the sense that gone are the days when we were ever official. And India's pulled the chair and sat on the day. This is also a success of the culmination of efforts at our foreign diplomacy. This is what we mean when we say peace through strength. An iron fist in a velvet glove. Nowhere has India relented on any of its positions, and at the same time today, it's China that has actually wanted this relationship to blossom. China cannot afford to have hostile neighborhoods, especially at a time when they're staring at hostility in the West, amongst the Western democracies. And I can tell you this, America is looking at it with caution.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
The era of de-dollarization is right around the corner, and they sense that. And we are in a unique position, Abhishek, where we are a part of Quad, we are a part of BRICS. So there is no hegemony that can get to us in that sense.
Absolutely. And as the Foreign Minister said, we can chew the gum and walk as well. Prime Minister there leaving Kazan, Russia to come back to India, emplaning for his flight back to New Delhi. And this is after the bilateral with Xi Jinping that concluded a while back. India and China deciding to start the boundary talks again, stalled after the Galwan clash of 2020. The last edition was held in 2019. Those would be led by the special representatives on boundary talks on both the sides, NS Ajit Doval on India's side and Wang Yi on the Chinese side. And let's, on that note, listen to Shawan Sen, who had spoken to Russia Today editor Ruslan a while back on the Kazan declaration of the Brics Summit.
Well, Ruslan, just to take forward with our viewers with regards to the big takeaways of the Brics Summit, 2 days, what, in your opinion, are the big takeaways of the summit?
Well, I would say, obviously, Prime Minister Modi's meeting with Xi Jinping is one of the most important events happening on the sidelines of this summit. But as we're going through the summit, the Kazan declaration seems to be one of the most important highlights. I'm still going through it. It appears to be massive. It's 43 pages long, and it's extensive it's as extensive as it can be. It covers such a variety of issues, from the regional conflicts to the issues related to the international agenda. So global equity, payment mechanisms, it's extensive. And I suppose this is one of the key developments and one of the takeaways of this summit. What I think it signifies is that each country, everyone has a seat at the table. Everyone brings something to this table, and everyone is listened to, and everyone is apparently being heard, as we can see demonstrated by this declaration.
As far as Moscow's expectations are concerned, following the bilateral that took place, the Russian President, Prime Minister essentially once again spoke about the fact that it is through dialogue and diplomacy and not war that we can move ahead. What is it that Moscow is really expecting from New Delhi at this point in time?
Expectation is probably the wrong word for the kind of relationship that Moscow and New Delhi are enjoying, because we've seen both leaders and representatives of the state calling it a privileged strategic partnership. It's been developing for the last 80 years. So I think it's called partnership for a reason. And so there are no specific expectations. Both sides know the underlying interests and needs, and both countries know that they will follow their own interests and needs. But this is what makes this relationship so special and so pragmatic, let's put it this way as well. Obviously, India is one of the powerhouses and the centers of the emerging world order, and it brings incredible lot to the joint table of this BRICS partnership, right? For instance, we can highlight that India's role is essential when it comes to the reforms of global institutions like the UN Security Council, like development banks. Obviously, India's voice matters especially when it comes to establishing the BRICS payment mechanism, right, that everyone is talking about. In that respect, I myself find Prime Minister Modi's pitch or suggestion to use the UPI experience. I thought it's very curious. We were talking among ourselves, among the journalists here, and that was our forecast. In a way, we thought that UPI might be like an example, or that UPI example might be, beneficial. That being said, when it comes to bilateral relationship, I suppose Russia's been, for instance, paying attention to India's potential free trade agreement with the Eurasian Economic Union. We've heard Russian officials talking about that on the sidelines of the summit.
Well, Ruslan, the other big act that we witnessed was coming together of India and China, the bilateral that took place a short while back. The Prime Minister once again reiterating the fact that this is about regional stability and the message that has been sent across to not just us but also in West Asia. How is the world really looking at both the nations coming together and making the message that here is an example of regional stability and perhaps the template forward?
I think it'll definitely be one of the main and most important highlights of this summit. Both leaders coming together first time in 5 years, and I suppose Russia can take pride in bringing those countries or those leaders together at the table, and it does definitely signify that role that BRICS can be playing and the approach and the values that BRICS is promoting as working.
Well, thank you very much, Ruslan, for joining us and putting this into perspective as you get us those ground reports from Kazan.
Thank you.
All right, the Kazan Declaration, which was signed a while back, incorporating 11 major suggestions made by India, Karan, and big ones, two of them I'm getting for you. A new reference on sovereignty and integrity in the context of transport infrastructure. Perhaps this includes BRI, major concession, one would say, coming in from the Chinese to be including this. And another big one, in fact, the biggest one perhaps, a new inclusion on the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, India's language on terror, the manner in which cross-border movement of terrorists and the listing of all UN-designated terrorists and terrorist entities has been included, clearly shows that India really got its way on those areas which are of core concern to our nation. It clearly shows the heft of Indian diplomacy led by the team, leading the team, of course, Prime Minister there, who's on his way back now to New Delhi. Still in a short break, coming back, continue the conversation.
Congress raises questions on India-China deal. Congress doubts India-China patrol agreement. Why is Congress nervous about India-China pact? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
See the power of God. Touch. Say thank you, Jesus. Say thank you, Jesus. Say thank you, Jesus.
There's one more thing that membership to Jemimah was given on honorary basis because she is an international player, plays for India.
Yes. So as far as her membership is concerned, absolutely, she is the pride of the country. We wish her well. We wish she brings more accolades to the country. There is no issue about that. The membership was given to her, being a Bandra girl, to come and use the facilities, hone her skills and do better for the country. तो वो privilege misuse जो उनके father ने किया, using her membership to book the presidential hall, and the booking was 1.5 साल की booking थी. हमारे members को जगह नहीं मिल रही थी. If I wanted to do a function or any member, the hall was perpetually booked. So to misuse that privilege is the issue. She should have come, played. We have highest regard for her. There are no two ways about it. It's just the misuse of her membership.
Happened in the AGM about Jemimah Rodrigues' honorary membership, which was given to her due to her international player status.
Yeah, so when the motion came up for hearing and the things were explained to the members, that this is what has happened, while our president was chairing the meeting, and when everything was put up, the House was really very upset to hear all this, and they were very, very spontaneously. It just happened. Please cancel our membership. We don't want such things happening in our Gymkhana, and we have to maintain the rules and the dignity of the Gymkhana, and we don't want. So there was no proposal for a removal or something like that by anybody. It just spontaneously happened with the members that we don't want such activities. Yes, we all promote sports. We are all for the sports. Gymkhana is meant for sporting activities mainly. These are just additional facilities that we give our members to use for their family functions or things like that. But it can't be used like this, is what all the members felt, and it was spontaneously decided by the members that cancel the membership.
In the second match simulation, I scored 25 runs of 37 balls.
तो
Not out.
मैच में नॉट आउट रही, मैं 25 रन बनाए सब.
Right, after making that big impact during the Brics Summit, where India got to have its say in the Kazan declaration with 11 of its concerns and areas of interest getting reflected verbatim as India wanted in the 43-page document. Prime Minister has left Russia on his way back to New Delhi. Let's listen to exactly what he said in that bilateral with Xi Jinping.
एक्सेलेंसी, आपसे मिलकर खुशी है, और जैसा आपने कहा 5 साल के बाद हमारी फॉर्मल